Lab Addicts Music Group. Lab Addicts Music Group. Lab Addicts Music Group.
Yes, I got the flower in my hair. Today's my daughter's birthday. She put the flower there, so I'm rocking it. What? Um, it's a beautiful day here in Atlanta. I just wanted to shout out and just spread some love and some good cheer. And you know, life is out here lifing, right? For me and for everybody else. But just wanted to remind you, as I remind myself, that no matter what's going on, there's always a reason to smile. Like if you just take a minute to stop and take stock, I guarantee you can find at least one reason to smile. And if for some reason you can't find a reason to smile, then that's probably the best time to be the reason for somebody else to smile. So, find a smile for yourself and be a reason for someone else to smile. That's all I got. Listen to love because it's been a minute. Peace and love.
How was there no sound?
Can y'all hear me now? Okay. Oh. Can you all hear me now? Testing, testing, testing. So you all didn't hear anything that I said the first 15 minutes of the show? I apologize. I'm not sure what was going on, but wow. So you all didn't hear anything that I said about Malcolm-Jamal Warner that first 15 minutes? Thank you, Pontoon Jody. You always, Pontoon Jody, you always put a smile on my face. Okay, so I apologize, but I wish someone would have said something, but I'll go back and we'll start this show all over again. Everybody, welcome tonight. This is another edition of Adult Conversations with Maas. And tonight we're going to reflect on the life and times of Malcolm-Jamal Warner, one of our social icons that we lost today. Y'all heard him talking, but y'all didn't hear me. Okay. Now I'm here with you all. So, yeah, we lost a cultural icon today. I'll go back and read everything, but we have nothing but time. I'm here with you all, and you all are here with me. We got everybody here tonight. We got Camille in the house. Hey, Camille, what's going on with you? How you doing? YWG, Pontoon, Jody. Yeah, we got the whole crew in here tonight. So, as I was saying, tonight we're going to remember and we're going to reflect on the life and times of Malcolm-Jamal Warner, also affectionately known as Theo. To all of us who grew up in the 80s and the 90s watching The Cosby Show. Malcolm-Jamal Warner was a cultural icon who was a role model to young men, young black men who really had no role models. There were no young reflections of ourselves on TV that we could relate to. But we could relate to Malcolm-Jamal Warner, who was the brother to three sisters in a fictional family. Parents, Heathcliff Huxtable and Claire Huxtable. And Malcolm-Jamal Warner was awkward, funny, smart, precocious, flawed, and loving. And all of these emotions and things were expressed on a weekly basis to us. I have a couple friends who were actually fortunate enough to be in Malcolm-Jamal Warner's space. One of them is my frat brother, and he spoke very, very affectionately about how Malcolm-Jamal Warner had influenced him, and how upon meeting him in the Atlanta music scene, he was able to have conversations with him and get to know Malcolm-Jamal Warner, the person, not the actor. And I have another friend who also lives in Atlanta who was fortunate enough to be in Malcolm-Jamal Warner's space. He met him last summer at the Hip Hop 50th anniversary concert there in Atlanta, as he was seated next to him at the concert, and they had conversations throughout the concert and talking about music and just Atlanta things. So my friend, we talked today about Malcolm-Jamal Warner passing away, and yeah, we just reflected on how the Cosby Show affected and influenced us in our childhoods. And I'm not sure about anyone else, but if I saw Malcolm-Jamal Warner with a certain sweater, I was telling my mom I want that sweater. If he had on a certain pair of Nikes, I was telling my mom I want those Nikes. They were style icons the entire show. And a lot of us grew up with Malcolm-Jamal Warner. And Scorp, I would never talk about you, Scorp. I never say nothing bad about you, Scorp. You know I love you, quit playing. And they were cultural icons. And I have several videos. That video that you all heard that was playing, but when you all couldn't hear me, was basically, that was the last video that Malcolm-Jamal Warner, I think it was either TikTok or Instagram, one of those, but that was his last video that he filmed before he left to go to Costa Rica. And yeah, I'm going to read the article that CNN published. And one thing I will say, I travel, I go to the Caribbean. I've been to the Atlantic Ocean on the East Coast, Florida, Virginia, upstate New York. I've also been near the Pacific Ocean in San Francisco and Northern California and Southern California as well on the Pacific Ocean. And one thing I will say is swimming in the ocean is totally different. Swimming in a lake or swimming in a pool, the ocean is not something to play around. And I would caution anyone who is near ocean waters to have fun, but yeah, don't go out too far, because the current will take you out. And if the current takes you out, there's nothing you can do to fight it. You just have to go with the current, unless you're a very, very strong swimmer. And I'm going to read the article that came out today. I'm not going to read the whole article. I'll read the very beginning of it. But Malcolm-Jamal Warner, an actor and artist who rose to fame as a child as Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, has passed away, according to the sources close to the actor. He was 54 years old. Warner died in a drowning accident in Costa Rica, where he was on vacation with his family, sources say. Warner was swimming at the Playa Grande near the town of Cauta in the province of Limon on the Caribbean coast of Costa Rica around 2:30 p.m. local time Sunday, when a current pulled him deeper into the ocean, according to the Associated Press. Costa Rica's Judicial Investigation Police told CNN on Monday people who were on the beach tried to help Warner, but he was declared dead by the Red Cross. CNN has reached out to representatives for Warner for further information. Warner, who was a native of New Jersey, started acting at the age of 9, making appearances in shows like Fame. I didn't know that Malcolm-Jamal Warner was in Fame. I'm going to have to go back and find some of those old Fame videos and see what role did he play on Fame. I didn't know that. He was a young teen when he was cast as the only son of Bill Cosby and Felicia Rashad's characters Heathcliff and Claire Huxtable in The Cosby Show. which ran from 1984 until 1992. Warner later reflected on the legacy of the popular Emmy-winning sitcom, where he stated, "The fact that The Cosby Show for Black America and for white America alike finally legitimized the black middle class, which has always been around since the inception of this country. But as with everything, it's not legitimate until it's on TV." Warner said, when the show first came out, there were white people and black people talking about how the Huxtables don't really exist. Black people don't really live like that. Meanwhile, we were getting tens of thousands of fan letters from people saying thank you so much for this show and for the representation that it portrays. Warner was nominated for Primetime Emmy in 1986 for his supporting work on The Cosby Show. By the time the series was over, Warner said in a 2013 interview, "We were still on top enough to go out on top, but we were ready to live our own lives. We were all ready to move on, and as Mr. Cosby said, by that point, we had pretty much said all that we could say." The Cosby Show used Theo's adolescence as shows to teach. The Cosby Show taught that there were black people out there that were living like this, that two parents were living together, there were families, there was a mother and father working for a better life. And that's what the Cosby Show expressed. And even if people weren't living exactly how they were living, we could all get some joy out of the representation of seeing ourselves on TV in a good light. We're not going to talk about Bill Cosby tonight. I also have a video with Bill Cosby talking about how he felt when he found out that Malcolm-Jamal Warner had passed. And it continues, as much as he honored playing Theo, Warner also worked hard to show how multifaceted he was, including being a Grammy-winning musician. He won Best Traditional R&B Performance in 2015 for the song Jesus Children. He was also nominated for a Grammy in 2023 for Best Spoken Word Poetry Album. Warner spoke with CNN in 2017 about his music and becoming a father, where he said, "Being a parent, I have a lot of new material for music." He said at the time, "It's really awesome, and right now my daughter's 4 months old, so I don't have to tell her no." Warner continued working steadily in television throughout his career, with credits including Touched by an Angel, Community, Key and Peele, Suits, Sons of Anarchy, and American Horror Story. Tracy Ellis Ross, with whom Warner co-starred on the BET series Read Between the Lines, remembered her friend in a tribute shared on social media. "I love you, Malcolm. First I met you as Theo with The Rest of the World. Then you were my first TV husband," Ross wrote. "My heart is so, so sad. What an actor and a friend. You were warm, gentle, present, kind, thoughtful, deep, funny, elegant. You made the world a brighter place. Sending so much love to your family. I'm so sorry for this unimaginable loss." As well, Eddie Griffith, who starred opposite of Warner in the series Malcolm and Eddie for 4 seasons between 1996 and 2000, also paid tribute. He said, "My heart is heavy today. For what the world lost was a father and a son, a poet, a musician, an actor, a teacher, a writer, a director, a friend, a warrior that I had the pleasure of going to war with against the Hollywood machine, and sometimes with each other, because that's what brothers do. But the love was and is always there, Eddie Griffin wrote in a statement. You've taught me so much, and I thank you, Westworld, my big little brother. Warner was also in The Resident, The Wonder Years, Reboot, Grown-ish, and 911. It's very sad. It's very sad. Yeah, we lost one of our cultural icons today. What did Theo Huxtable mean to you all when you all were growing up? What did Theo Huxtable mean to the women in here who were in 1984? I was in the 6th grade. So basically, the Cosby Show was on from the time I was in 6th grade until I was a sophomore in college. So those were very, very formative years. And it was like Theo was also in middle school when that show came on. I think he may have been even a little younger than that, because I think the very last show of the series was when Theo graduated from high school, or was he when he graduated from college? I'm not really sure, but yeah, it's really sad. But Theo Huxtable was one of the first black male role models on TV as a young man, as a role model for young men. Theo Huxtable was probably the first. Is there anybody else we can think of that was a positive role model on TV from our age range standpoint? I think that Malcolm-Jamal Warner was probably one of the first. Wow. Camille said that Malcolm-Jamal Warner was her biggest crush. I'm gonna go back and read some of these. I haven't had a chance to look at the comments, but yeah, we're 38 minutes into the show. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Quit playing with me. But yeah, Scorp, YWG was talking about you. That wasn't me. He had a whole lot to say what you was down in Florida doing. But I'll let you take care of him about that. I try, you all. It's, I'm just a regular guy. But thanks, Pontoon Jody. I do have all my teeth. But yeah, it's very, very sad, when people pass away that you grew up watching on TV, even though they're not your real family, they become a part of your family. They become a part of, your existence at that point in life. And like I said, there weren't a lot of black male role models on TV. And Theo represented what a young black man could be in this world, in America. Everything that Theo went through on the Cosby Show wasn't good. Wasn't bad, but I wouldn't say that, it was real life experiences. And I really wanted to do this show. Because Malcolm-Jamal Warner had a really good effect on me as a young black man. He showed me that, we could go to college. We could not necessarily be a nerd, but, you could be cool without being a jock or playing sports, even though I played sports. But yeah, you could be cool without playing sports. And, it was cool to be young and black in the 80s and 90s. And Malcolm-Jamal Warner and his character as Theo was a perfect example of the growth of a young black man in America. And yeah, I just wanted to do this show tonight because Malcolm-Jamal Warner was one of the icons. Was one of the people that every Thursday night I didn't miss that show. Didn't miss that show. As well as A Different World, but The Cosby Show was the benchmark. It was the show that all black TV shows are rated against. And I don't think that there will ever be a cast of people at that time that came together and really, really showed real life situations in terms of being black and being a part of the struggle here in America. So yeah, I wanted to give him his props, his flowers. TMI Santiago, what's going on, my brother? Yeah, man. R.I.P. to the man, to Malcolm-Jamal Warner. We're gonna go into this next video that I got about Malcolm-Jamal, and this is the final show of The Cosby Show. It's the last. I think it's the last part where I'll let you all watch it.
I honestly believe it really was the final episode. Like, you weren't coming back again. At least for me, it felt kind of like a blur. I don't really have a lot of specific memories of that, except them singing and that incredible shot of how we ended the show with Cliff and Claire dancing, and then him deciding just to dance her right off of the set.
All right, here we go again.
Yeah.
Here we go again.
It was just difficult just to know we weren't coming back again.
Well, at the end of the episode, Cliff and Claire were in the living room and the music was playing, and he asked her to dance. And Bill whispered in my ear, "I'm going to dance you right out of this studio."
I think one of the beautiful things about the way that show ended, you see Cliff and Claire walk off the set, out of the studio doors. They walk past the audience, past the camera, past crew. And I just thought it was such a classic farewell.
It was one of the most amazing moments in my life.
And walking out of that door for the last time, well, it was the happiest time of my entire life. So I figured, well, whatever happens now has gotta go down.
It's like the house you grew up in. I mean, these people I've known my whole childhood. I saw them more than I saw my own family a lot of times.
And for 8 years, we genuinely loved each other. There was a sincere rapport that we have that is, anyone would tell you, it's quite rare to have on any show.
I was so used to being with these people every day for like 3 years, and then it's just gone.
Yeah. We're all here. We're all here. Just like that, we can be gone. So we got to cherish the times that we have. Yeah, I mean, iconic moments. And Malcolm-Jamal Warner was, he was a part of that for all of us. We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep it going on this tribute to Malcolm-Jamal Warner.
Malcolm-Jamal Warner, who played Theo Huxtable on The Cosby Show, has died. Warner drowned off the coast of Costa Rica yesterday while on a family vacation. Police in Costa Rica say Warner was caught by a high current in the water. Malcolm-Jamal Warner starred in all 8 seasons of The Cosby Show as Theo Huxtable. He won an Emmy for his role as the only son of Bill Cosby's character, Cliff Huxtable. I spoke to Bill Cosby, of course, a longtime Montgomery County resident right here in the Delaware Valley. He remembered his young co-star with fondness. And yet Malcolm-Jamal Warner was still able to give life to the character you had in mind?
Very much so. Very, very much so. Malcolm, you could depend on Malcolm always going to the shelter to learn his lines, to gather his character, to come out and be ready. When news came, it was shocking. And of course, my thoughts went straight to his mother, who worked so hard. And she was so wonderful with him.
Bill Cosby also sharing with me the humanity he remembers about Malcolm-Jamal Warner. After The Cosby Show, Warner went on to star in several other shows, including the long-running medical drama, The Resident. Malcolm-Jamal Warner leaves behind a wife and a daughter. He was 54 years old. Wix, one platform.
So yeah. Hey, Chroma Sweets, how you doing tonight? So yeah, we doing this tribute to Malcolm-Jamal Warner tonight. One of our cultural icons that we all grew up watching. Now, some of the later shows I really didn't watch as I moved away from watching regular TV. But here's a video of Malcolm-Jamal Warner after the first season of The Cosby Show and what it meant to him to be a part of The Cosby Show.
Finished up. How are you feeling about it?
Great. I'm happy we got through it. Like for 5 years, like I want a series. And you never think it's gonna hit number one. I mean, we soared straight to the top, and to be number one consistently, to be in the top 5 consistently, that's great. And I'm glad we got through the first year.
How long do you hope this goes on?
For a long time. Until the audience stops laughing. And with Bill Cosby, I don't think ever stop laughing.
What about for you? What has he taught you?
Oh wow. There's nothing I can say specific. There are things that he's helped me with, throughout the whole year. If it has something to do with the script, something if I have personal problems or whatever, it's variations of things, and I'm very grateful.
And what about this party? Seems like a pretty good celebration.
Yes, we're celebrating for another year.
So yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to. Yeah, we gonna. Malcolm-Jamal Warner was a big part of a lot of our lives growing up. Like I said, I really didn't watch a lot of his later works. But yeah, Josh, right? Josh said he's with the Lord. Great actor. Prayers to his family. Yeah, sad. Yeah. I think I may binge watch The Cosby Show this weekend. or try to find it. It's probably, you can find it, but it's a shame that the Cosby Show was not in syndication. It's one of the best. It's one of the best. It's one of the best shows ever on TV. I would say that the top 5 of TV shows that I watched growing up is probably number 5 is Dallas. Number 4 is The Jeffersons. Number 3, Sanford and Son. Number 2, New York Undercover. And I take that back. Strike that. Number 2, A Different World. And number 1, Cosby Show. Thank you, Josh. Thanks for the like, my friend. I appreciate you. Exactly, Queen Peace. He was everybody's big brother. Some of y'all ladies, y'all want him to be y'all's boyfriend. Yeah, Camille said she said Theo was her biggest crush. And you said Theo was your crush too, so he couldn't be your big brother. You had a crush on him. Yep. Good man. And it's a shame that his daughter and his wife had to witness that. That's the really is they were there and they had to witness that, and them working on him trying to save him. They had to witness that. So, prayers and condolences to his wife and his daughter. So yeah, we're here. We're reflecting on Theo, affectionately known to us, also Malcolm-Jamal Warner. And how do you all? What effect did Malcolm-Jamal Warner have on you all growing up? And I put a poll up, and there was a lot of people that said it didn't really. But yeah, did the Cosby Show influence your style, actions, college choice, things of that nature? 58% people said yes, and 42% said no. So yeah. Yeah. Can't imagine how the cast of the Cosby Show will feel now. Yeah. At first it was just Malcolm-Jamal Warner and Bill Cosby. They were the men that were on the show. And then as the years, we had Elvin and other people, but I don't think none of the male characters that came along on the show had the effect that Malcolm-Jamal Warner had. We already know the effect that Bill Cosby had on the show, but I think that Malcolm-Jamal Warner added a youthful exuberance to the show. There had to be a younger man on that show to draw us in. But I have a cousin that's the only boy of all sisters, and yeah, we always talked about, yeah, you must be Theo. But yeah. Josh said, I like the episode where he got his ear pierced and his dad was asking about it, and then the other episode where he was talking about money and yeah. There's so many different. There's just so many different episodes. I don't think that. There are certain ones that I can single out, but I just think that the totality of the show I remember the show where they were sneaking into the house after being out, trying to tiptoe across the living room floor, and everybody had that old. If you had hardwood floors in your house, or you had that crickety step, you always, if you tried to, you always hit that. So yeah, there's different shows. There's different shows that I remember as well, but that's one that stands out to me because yeah, I've stuck in the house and hit the creaky board or the creaky steps. So I've done those things. So that was one episode that really stands out to me is that show. So yeah, hit the like button, subscribe to the page because yeah, I mean we're giving Malcolm-Jamal Warner his flowers tonight. Giving him his flowers tonight. But yeah. It's always a shame, especially when it's accidental things like this on vacation. The ocean is not something to play with. It's not something to play with. I've been around the ocean. I really don't go deeper than my waist. I get in enough to say I've been in it when I had my locks. I would go to the ocean at least once a year so I could dip my hair in the salt water. But yeah, I don't go past the waist. Queen P said he was everybody's big brother. Yeah. Queen P, I liked the last episode where he was graduating. Yeah. Yeah, don't play with the water. Don't play with the water. Yeah. 54 years old is young. 54 is we're still young, you all. We're still young. We're still young. Shouts out to everybody that's coming through tonight as we're reflecting on the life and times of Malcolm-Jamal Warner. We're talking about different Cosby shows that, left a mark on us. And if there's any of his other shows that left, like I say, I watched the Cosby Show. I can't say too much about the newer shows. But yeah. 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 And he was very, very prominent on the poetry scene as well as the music scene in Atlanta. Those were his passions. Those were some of his passions that he was also known for. As we stated earlier, he was nominated for a Grammy for his music, and he also won a Grammy in 2023 for his spoken word album. So there were other things. He was a Renaissance man. He was well-rounded. There wasn't one thing that he did. He was a well-rounded individual, well-rounded man. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. We got 14 people in here. We got 9 likes. Hit the like button. Quit playing with me. Hit the like button. But you know what, Queen Peace, I did watch Malcolm and Eddie a couple times. I did watch that show a couple times. I can't say I watched it a lot, but I can't tell you anything about that show. If you all can talk about the good Malcolm and Eddie shows. I mean, I watched it a couple times. It wasn't something that I watched on a weekly basis. I can't really. Maybe I'll go back and look at some of those shows, but I know I'm gonna go back and watch the old episodes of the Cosby Show if I can find those. But yeah, like Queen P said, don't play with the water, especially the ocean. The ocean is The ocean is not something to play with. The ocean is not something to play with. Wanted to give Malcolm-Jamal Warner his props as we cross over an hour. Hit the like button. Share this video out. Okay. Camille said he was good in The Resident. Is that a show about a doctor? Was he a doctor in that show or something like that? He was a resident doctor. I never watched that show. I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing about The Resident. But yeah. Just showing some of these videos that I was able to find, speaking highly of Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Now, we're going to see what types of conspiracy theories come out about this. You know, as you know, they will be coming. There was some reason that we don't want to do that. We just want to reflect on the good times that we felt watching Malcolm-Jamal Warner. If you're black and you grew up in the 80s and the 90s, you grew up with Malcolm-Jamal Warner, especially if you grew up in the mid to late 80s. If those were the years you were in high school or middle school, yeah. Malcolm-Jamal Warner was a reflection of us. And Bill Cosby did a great job in putting his character through things that we went through. That's why I say that show was teaching life experiences. And with all the bad that has been talked about certain individuals, there's nothing that can be taken away from the Cosby Show. There's nothing can be taken away from the Cosby Show. Okay, so Camille said he was a heart surgeon. Okay, I might have watched that show one time. Not something but yeah. So sad. So sad. One of our icons died in an accidental drowning Sunday afternoon. And we're going to see. This video I'm not sure if we're going to watch this entire video, but this is CNN talking about Malcolm-Jamal Warner.
Warner, dead at the age of 54 on a drowning accident while he was vacationing with his family in Costa Rica. Joining us now, Bomani Jones, host of The Right Time with Bomani Jones podcast, and entertainment journalist Segun Odulo to share their thoughts there. And Bomani, if I could begin with you, of course it was difficult, and he spoke quite publicly about this, Malcolm-Jamal Warner, when Bill Cosby was accused, later convicted of multiple cases of sexual assault. He was asked about it in a 2015 interview, and he said, he's one of my mentors, and he's been very influential, played a big role in my life as a friend and mentor. Just as it's painful to hear any woman talk about sexual assault, whether true or not, it's just as painful to watch my friend and mentor go through this. How did he handle, in the years since he left the show, just that the larger Bill Cosby controversy and scandal?
I mean, I guess you would argue that he handled it about as well as he could, because it's not like what Bill Cosby did is something that he himself could answer for. And it's got to be super tricky, not only because Cosby was kind of a vehicle for the fame and what his life ultimately became, but also because specifically the vehicle that they were attached to was so attached to the idea of wholesomeness, and that this guy is like everybody's dad, and then you find out that your dad perhaps might be a terrible person. That's a rough go for anybody. And so I noticed for all the members of that cast, for us, Bill Cosby was just kind of he's not somebody we knew in general. He's just an idea. And so for those people, you're reckoning with the person you thought you know, the person that was actually there, and the idea that happened to be a vehicle for everything that happened in your life. So it's kind of hard for me to evaluate how anybody would or would not have handled it, because it's such a particular situation.
Sorry, y'all. Hey.
Yeah, Shagun, this is I mean, we all know Malcolm-Jamal Warner for this role, right? But he also was so accomplished as a Grammy-winning musician. He had a recent podcast. He spoke out about being a Black man in society and what that meant, and that's a voice that's needed. And that portrayal that he brought was groundbreaking. Can you talk a little bit about the mark that he's leaving here? It's just incredibly sad when we think of what a young age he died at.
Yeah, the passing of Malcolm-Jamal Warner is horrific. And, I know Elizabeth Wagmeister and one of the entertainment reporters that you had on before, but culturally, and I think Bomani and myself can speak to this, this is like the loss of a family member in that, look, I'm the child of immigrants, and my dad is a PhD, my mom is a therapist. Malcolm-Jamal Warner was the first time I saw somebody that looked like me and my brothers on television that my parents could relate to. The conversations that he would have on screen with his television dad were the same conversations about going to college and cleaning your room that I was having with my father. So his voice as a Black man on screen, and then afterwards, just the man he was, the smile, the artist, the Grammy you mentioned, he was also on Def Poetry Jam. There was an aura about him of just class and grace. And for me at my age, it's like losing a family member, because we grew up with him. Like I grew up watching.
That's exactly how I feel. Like, yeah, I have a brother, but yeah, I mean, it's just how you feel. We grew up with Malcolm-Jamal Warner. We grew up with, we were a part of this.
This kid go through the same things that I was going through while he's on camera. And so culturally, his passing is so tremendous to our community as Black men, because he was a father himself. Like, he embodied the things that maybe Bill Cosby it turned out wasn't, but Malcolm-Jamal Warner was those things. He kept his life private. And so, like, again, I'm almost at a loss for words, because when I saw the news, I could not believe it. 54 is not only so young, but what he meant to me growing up, and to a great many of us, to see something like that to see us represented, is so powerful. It's definitely a tragic loss, not just for the entertainment community, but the Black community as a whole. We lost somebody that I throw it to you, Bomani. I grew up watching him and laughing, and my dad did the same thing. I brought you into this world, I'll take you out. He just did it with a Nigerian accent.
It's such a good point that he, in his life, tried to live up to that wholesome image himself, Shigun. It's such a great point. Sorry, Bomani, go ahead.
No, I was going to say the dynamic that Shagun pointed out is interesting, because my parents are both professionals. But the thing is, the Cosby Show comes out in '85. I'm 5 years old, so I don't have a recollection of the world without the Cosby Show. And so what was revolutionary for a lot of people, for me, was much more commonplace, because of the life they showed was more similar to a life that I recognized. Now, what I always find to be interesting, and not that this was that different from many sitcoms, but as much as Cosby had a tendency to fall into traps of respectability politics, those kids were driving him crazy at every turn. And the Theo Huxtable drive him crazy was interesting in the first couple of seasons of the show, because it's just basically, your son's a screw up who says he wants to be a regular person. He had to tell him that that's why he made D's and everything. The progression of the character was one who had actually an undiagnosed learning disability. which I think created a relatability to a lot of people in circumstances where they felt like they were doing their best and just couldn't get it right. And so it went from being a joke that Theo can't get it right to you recognizing, oh, there's a reason. And there's way ahead of kind of a conscientiousness that we have now about those issues. But it also, I think the term class was used, but as the Theo Huxtable character gets older, he just gets a whole lot cooler. Like, that was somebody that you could see by the end of it and be like, yo, I wouldn't mind kicking it like that guy kicks it. So as much as we could talk about like these kind of deeper issues of how it affected Black people, in the end, this worked because it was an entertaining television show. And a big part of why it was entertaining is he gave one of the more realistic portrayals of a teenage.
Bomani Jones is one of the best columnists that's out right now in print as well on TV and YouTube. So yeah, if this is the first time that you're hearing Bomani Jones speak, I implore you to go look for him. He has great takes on lots of different topics.
You're on screen while actually being a teenager, because normally people who get that right are actors who are older and can look back on what their lives were. In real time, he was capturing what a 14, 15, 16-year-old would be in a very relatable format for not just Black people, but also Americans. Like, it's crazy to think how many white people watched that show at the time, given how decidedly Black it was. So we can claim the character very closely, certainly, but let's be careful and not lose sight of the fact that this was an American character that was shared by the country from coast to coast.
I'll say, listen, as I said to Brianna earlier, I watched it religiously as well, but I could hear, and maybe you're the same, I hear in the passion, Shagun and Bomani, in your voices, just what it meant to you to watch this show, right? I mean, it just comes across with everything you say.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete.
Yeah, they ain't gonna be mad at me for them commercials playing.
Bomani touched on it, like the learning disability. Like in the Black community, in many communities, that's not discussed, right? That I had never seen that before. And I know people that because of what was displayed on the Cosby Show and that conversation led to conversations in their own family. Bomani is right. This was an American character because you don't be on the most successful sitcom in television at the time if it was only for one group of people. Malcolm-Jamal Warner himself, away from the camera, and I know you all mentioned it, led a very private life. He was kind of like the anti-star and really didn't seek the fame, but was really an artist. And the art form that he showed on television that we consumed, must-see TV Thursday night, you knew the time. Like, you sat down there. We ate dinner watching The Cosby Show. It was one of the only shows that we could watch. And like I said, for me and for my brothers, I've been on the phone with them, and we're having conversations like, I can't believe he's gone, and we're reminiscing and being reminded about shows and episodes, and the Gordon Gartrell when Denise made the shirt for him. There are episodes that his character went through that are so indelible and left memories for us that are never going to go away.
Yeah, I think it was dyslexia that he had, and I think of his early adventures because it was early on in the series with Cockroach, his friend, who was so memorable as well. Just so much warmth that he brought to that character, and so much of himself clearly that he brought to that character. Shagun Oduolowu and Bomani Jones, thank you so much to both of you. Really, really appreciate this conversation, as I think so many people are feeling this, and our hearts go out to this family.
That's the thing. A family has lost their father today, and our prayers with them.
The family has lost their father today. And we're talking about how we lost Malcolm-Jamal Warner, but he had a family, he had a daughter, and they witnessed this. So my thoughts and prayers go out to his wife and his daughter, who have lost a husband and a father. So we lost somebody we grew up, but they lost their love. So we can't reflect and talk about Malcolm-Jamal Warner without sending our thoughts and prayers to his wife and his daughter. You can only imagine what they're going through right now, because we are.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
We are talking about, how we view Malcolm-Jamal Warner and the effect that he had on our lives. Yeah, like YWC, I was locked in on Thursdays. Thursdays at 8 o'clock. It was locked in. And what we don't talk about is there were numerous shows that came on CBS and ABC that they tried to put on TV to knock out that 30 minutes that the Cosby Show was in, and many shows failed because there was no. The Cosby Show is a cultural, like they said, I didn't really want to do a lot of talking about Bill Cosby, but no man is without sin, and nobody can cast stones. God is the only judge, so it's not for us to judge. He was convicted, but the show is the show. The show is a cultural icon, and like Bomani Jones and Olu said, we grew up watching these things. There were life. This show was a show of life experiences that many of us in the Black community could relate to. Lots of and we're not trying to discount the ladies, because there were lots of shows on the Cosby Show that were geared to young women who were growing up, who were going through puberty, who were going, the first boyfriend and things of that nature. But tonight we're really reflecting on Malcolm-Jamal Warner and what he brought to us as a cultural icon. We've talked about the shows that he did later in life, but I would say that those shows were good. But I would say that there's nothing, none of those shows can compare to the Cosby Show as well. The Cosby Show and none of these shows can really compare to his poetry and his musical achievements that he also achieved. So, like I said, he was a Renaissance man. He was not a man that was a one-trick pony. There were different genres that he reached the highest of the highs in. So we lost a great one today. The ocean is nothing to play with. Every summer we hear about people drowning in riptides and people losing their lives in the ocean. And everybody be very, very conscious as you go to the ocean and you get in the ocean waters this summer. The ocean is not something to play with. It's not something to play with. Right. Queen P said, no man is without sin. Exactly. None of us are 100% good. That's why we all have this. We're not good. None of us are all good. But yeah, we're coming up on an hour and 20 minutes into the show. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Now, there was another show that I had planned to talk about tonight, but when the occurrences of what happened today happened, I couldn't. That show had to get put on the back burner, and yeah, talking about Malcolm-Jamal Warner. So talk to me, y'all. You know what? I'm gonna put the link out. I want some people to come up here and, talk about how Malcolm-Jamal Warner affected you. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Queen P said, this hit her really hard, but God knows best. God makes no mistakes. God makes no mistakes. Sometimes we don't agree with, but it's not about agreements. It's not about agreements. But we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes. And shouts out to everybody that's watching on Facebook, Instagram, X, and tonight, my people's over in Nigeria and South Korea watching on Free TV, AfricaTV.com. So yeah, shouts out to them. But I need y'all to come over here and join the conversation. We got people over here just really we're talking about the effect of Malcolm-Jamal Warner on us. And yeah, to the people that's watching on Facebook, thank you. But come over here. To the people watching on, I'm gonna leave Freaker TV because y'all can't come over. The people watching on X, come on over here to YouTube and talk to us. And lastly, but not least, to my people watching on Instagram, come over here to YouTube and join the conversation. Man. Now, we're gonna take a little couple-minute break away from talking about Malcolm-Jamal Warner. We'll get back to it, but yeah, if you haven't checked out YWG's page and you're looking for some tips on gardening, go over there, check out YWG. Check his page out. If you're looking for tips on growing your plants, go talk to YWG. And to all the ladies out there that fish, to all the ladies out there that are outdoor women, go check out Pontoon Jody's page. She's a fisherman woman, and she catches big fish, 60-pound catfish. Go check her page out. She usually goes live on Friday nights where they have fishing tournaments, but she says she's tired of fishing right now, so we're gonna have to get Jody to cast some reels back out. But yeah, go check out Pontoon Jody. She's fishing, she's beating the men on a weekly basis. Now that's one thing I will say, that Pontoon Jody does beat the men in fishing, and she's always catching something big. So if you like them big, go check out Pontoon Jody's fishing channel. Friday nights, she goes live. But yeah, and also Squirt Mama. If you're looking for something, if you're looking for some products, shawls, hats, candles go check out Squirt Mama's page. She is the master knitter of the Maas family. Go check her page out. As well, Caramel Sweets. Go check Caramel Sweets page out, because she's making merch. She's making magnets, bottle openers, coasters, glasses. This is my Maas Appeal glass right here that Caramel Sweets made for me. She also made me some t-shirts. So go check out Caramel Sweets page. She's got lots of different things that you might want to buy. So yeah, go check her page out. Now, we got new people in here. Shouts out to Queen Peace. Queen Peace, I really appreciate you coming in. You and Josh, y'all came in, y'all led the conversation. We've been talking about how Malcolm-Jamal Warner has been a part of our lives throughout our youth. Like Queen P said, he was like a brother. He was, lots of women, lots of young women had crushes on Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Lots of dudes was out here getting the boxes with the part on the side of their head. Not me, but there was a dudes out there they was doing that. They was, yeah. Now the sweaters and the Nikes, I was all about that. But yeah, I didn't have a box. I didn't have no part on the side of my head. But yeah, Malcolm-Jamal Warner was a part of our lives. We grew up with him. We grew up with the Cosby Show, and yeah, today was not a good day. I always say what's goody, but today really wasn't a goody day because we lost one of our cultural icons, a person that we grew up with. I'm 53 years old. He's 54 years old. To pass away like that in front of your family, your daughter, it's rough. It's rough. So we're here to talk about it. We're here to talk about it. Put the link out. Nobody has joined the chat. But I know we got a lot of shy people out there, but that's what it is. That's what it is. Oh shoot. What's YWG up here? Okay, we gotta go back up with yeah. YWG said the Cosby Show spent 5 consecutive seasons as the number 1 rated TV show on television. Along with All in the Family is the only sitcom in history of the Nielsen ratings as number 1. That right there speaks for itself. All in the Family was number 1 traditionally. Now, a TV show like All in the Family couldn't be on TV today because we got people out here just really, really wimps. I'm not gonna say wimps, but yeah. The reason a lot of us have thick skin is because we watched All in the Family and we watched the Jeffersons, and these the 80s, the 90s, the 70s babies were different. And like YWG said an hour ago, the 90s was the best decade ever. It's the 90s. There will never be a decade like the 90s. Never. The 90s was the best decade ever. Ever. The 90s. They make videos about the 90s. Go check them out. Show for 5 seasons, having spent the series in the top 20 ratings. I guess that was a continuation of the last one, so I apologize. Come on, Pontoon Jody. I always got to give you a shout out. Come on, you the original. Pontoon Jody is the original Maas Appeal family. My Pontoon was here when there was 2 people watching me. So yeah, Pontoon Jody is always gonna get a shout out. Always. She been here since the beginning. It's other people that's been here since the beginning, and I'm not. But yeah, Pontoon Jody, she been here since. Yeah, she been here since your boy was over here talking to crickets. Not talking to crickets no more though, but yeah, because we're all here trying to grow. This is all about growth, and now we got Queen Peace. Queen Peace is most definitely gonna be a member of the MA family. Her and Josh. Josh is gone, but yeah. Because we talk freely over here. Nobody's opinions are shunned. Now you may get checked, but we don't. You say what you say. As long as you're not disrespecting nobody, we have adult conversations over here. And I hope everybody comes back and tunes in Monday through Thursday. And then we have the Wild Night, Friday night. the sex show. But Monday through Thursday, yeah, we keep it tame and we talk about real world adult topics. That's what we do. We don't argue. We don't talk people down. We don't shout people down. Now, you may, like I said, you may get checked. Everybody needs some straightening once in a while. And the chat will give you some straightening. Queen, yeah, the 90s. Yeah, Jody, yeah, exactly. Jody is day one. Yeah, Jody is day one. That means you've been around here since the beginning. You've been around here since we was in the Sandlot, Jody. Jody said, what does day one mean? Somebody explain to Jody what it means when somebody say, you day one. Yeah, somebody explain to Jody what it means to be day one. But yeah, R.I.P. to Malcolm-Jamal Warner. We're here giving props, giving flowers, reflecting on Malcolm-Jamal Warner and what he meant to us in life, as well as we're making new friends. We're growing our channels. That's what we do over here. That's what we do. That's what we do. Who? What karma? Who? Somebody's getting checked? Oh, what? Yeah, exactly. YWG. Yeah. Pontoon Jody, day one. You've been here since the beginning. You've been here since the beginning, Jody. Yeah, Jody. And what y'all don't know is Jody's not just a fisherman woman. Jody has won awards for the last 3 years, 2 years. She's been female angler, catfish angler of the year. She was also voted the #1 fishing YouTube channel. So go check out Pontoon Jody. Go check out Pontoon Jody. Yeah, Pontoon Jody said, I would like to thank all of you all for being. Come on now, Jody. Come on now, Jody. We got more in common than we different. Come on, Jody. You've been there since day one. Yeah, put him in. Score. Tell him. Put him in the corner. Tell him. Yeah, Queen Peace. We hope you come back. We hope you come back. We hope this isn't a one-time thing that you came here. But yeah, we talk about all types of different topics. Now, the topics that we talk about and what you see in the shorts may be two different things because, we have really, but the shorts, you just get a reflection of my life, what I do on a daily basis. But, the conversations that we have, the shorts draw you in and then the conversations keep you here. That's what we try to do. That's what we try to do. But yeah, that's what we do. Because Pontoon Jody, little do you know, but you also, I learned from you, Jody. So it's like an even exchange. It's reciprocity. You learn a little bit from me, and I learn a lot from you. I learn more from you than you get from me. You learn a little bit from me, but I learn a lot from you. Yeah, come on, Queen Peace. You with us now. You in the MA family. You in the MA family, Queen Peace. I like Queen Peace energy, so we're gonna give Queen Peace. Hold on, I didn't mean to do that now. I didn't. Not the managing. Hold on. I gave you the wrong wrench. I can give you the wrench. I gave you the all inclusive. And as a moderator, yeah, there we go. Give you a wrench. Gonna give you a wrench. Yeah. Yeah, you with us now, Queen Peace. But yeah, we're reflecting on Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Yeah. We had to give You gotta give Queen Peace a belt. She might have to spank somebody in here. Get them up out. Spank them up out of here if they get talking sideways. But yeah, Jody been around here since day one. Jody gonna get a shout out every show until ain't no more shows. Because yeah, because we all gonna grow. Yeah, Queen Peace. You in the family now. You in the family now, Queen Peace. Oh, where is Dark Star? Where's Dark Star tonight? Yeah, where Dark Star? Dark Star. You know, Dark Star, what time is it? It's 10:40. Dark Star been coming in. She'll come in at like 10:50 and try to get me to stay in. Yeah, she come in at the end and try to get me to stay in her a little bit longer. But I do have a little something to do. I might leave y'all in here to chat while I do what I gotta do. I'll just leave the chat open. But yeah. For real. For real. For real. This dude's funny. This dude wild. This dude is wild. Yeah, where Dark Star at? Dark Star, where you at? But yeah, we lost a good one today, y'all. We lost a good one. We lost a good one today. Yeah. Malcolm-Jamal Warner was one of the people that you never really heard anything bad. Yeah, where Jug at? Where Jug? Where Jug? Well, Jug been busy. Jug been busy. I didn't talk to Jug today. Jug's been busy. But yeah, we're Dark Star. We had a couple people missing tonight. Jug is sleeping, but R.I.P. Gone too soon. I implore everyone, be careful in the ocean. The ocean is not a lake. The ocean is not a pool. The ocean is different. And water does not play. Water does not play. "54 years old is young. We lost a friend today. A lady lost a husband. A little girl lost a father. So let's not lose sight of that as we reflect and we talk about our feelings in terms of Malcolm-Jamal Warner and what the Cosby Show meant. And we have The Resident. Camille talked about the show The Resident. And someone else brought up another show that he was on. But yeah, Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Yeah, Malcolm-Jamal Warner. As we come up on an hour and 40 minutes, hit the like button for me. Hit the like button. Hit the like button one more time. Quit playing with me and hit the like button. But yeah. Today's a sad day. Today's a sad day. Yep. wonder, Nightbot is the personal moderator. He's gonna tell you things, fun facts about the page. He's gonna talk to you about the subscribers. He's gonna talk to you about the moderators. He talks about a lot of things. So Nightbot is AI. So if Nightbot says something to you, not that you would ignore it, but you don't have to respond to it because yeah, he's AI. And Nightbot kind of moves the conversation along. He's the buddy. Nightbot is the buddy. It's the homie. Everybody need a homie, and Nightbot is the homie. But I got real homies. Pontoon Jody, get your sleep. Get your sleep, Jody. Jody, Jody, before you leave, when's the next time you'll be going live? When's the next time you'll be going live? And how have things been going in the new place? It's been 2 months now. So, yeah. When's your next live? And how are things now? It's 2 months in the new spot. And get your sleep. Get your sleep, Jody. So, yeah, I'm going to sit here and wait for Jody's response on that so you all will know when Jody's next live is. And, yeah, Jody moved into a new house. She downsized. And, yeah, it's been 2 months now. It's been 2 months now, Jody. Yeah, so now, Queen Peace, you can click on people's, if the person's name is on there, you click on it, you right click on it, and then you can go to their page and check them out. So, yeah. You can go check people's pages now, Queen. But this has been a good conversation. We got to have meaningful thoughts about how Malcolm-Jamal Warner's character on The Cosby Show was very, very reflective of us as young black men here in America. And yeah. We reflected on Malcolm-Jamal Warner and his contributions to not just
Lab Addicts Music Group
acting, but also music and poetry. Malcolm-Jamal Warner was a cultural icon. Cultural icon. We grew up with him. We went through a lot of the same things that we were going through in real life. Bill Cosby put those situations in that show. Learning lessons.
Lab Addicts Music Group.
You're not reflecting on that. We're reflecting on the good stuff. So God is the judge. And
Lab
we
Addicts
lost a good
Music
one
Group.
today, y'all. Malcolm-Jamal Warner. Gone too soon. Keep his family in your thoughts and prayers. Everybody. Ocean waters. Be careful. This is another edition of Adult Conversations with Maas. See y'all tomorrow night. R.I.P.
Lab Addicts Music Group. Lab Addicts Music Group.